Hey everybody, we are live coming at you for the DOS Anniversary Tournament. We have week 2 rescheduled where Tempura Tantrum is going to be facing off Sweet Release of Depth. I'm your host Pickle. I'm joined today by my co-commentator Fat. Fat, how you doing?
I am doing just fine here, Pickle. It is Friday night, and it's time to sit down, cozy up with a nice pillow and some hot cocoa, and watch some Splatoon.
You know, that's the one thing that I was missing. I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'd get a nice hot cup of cocoa before I sit down and get this thing going, but alas, I missed out. You just got to enjoy it all for me.
Absolutely. I mean, gin in a Dixie cup will also do, Pickle. Whatever boats your float.
Well, you know, I might just have to be right back real quick. Nah, I'm just joking. But for our first match coming up, we have Tower Control on Crab Lake Capital. I believe that's correct.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Let's get
this is
some
an
hype in the
interesting one.
chat, y'all.
Let's get some hype in the chat. The crab leg hype. Everybody, put your crab claws up in the chat here. Now we have a very interesting match here. Just let me go ahead and do a quick response here. Yeah, Crab Lake Capital. It is one of our newer maps. A very interesting tower path. Unlike many of the maps that we have in the game currently, sort of does this little snaking movement, pushing up almost all the way into the enemy spawn, and then back far, going away from the enemy spawn and away from the goal. It's a really interesting path there, Pickle.
Right, and that's something that you see across many of the other stages, if any of them. It does create a little bit of a steamroll once you get to that point where you're getting towards final checkpoint. If I understand it correctly, there's not much as far as inkable territory during that last stretch. So if these teams can get it that far, they might be golden to take this first game.
Absolutely. Having those uninkable grates can be really tough, but we do have at least the benefit of some very small inkable walls kind of holding up those grates that can give some nice little vantage points for even some of these short-range weapons, some of these more aggressive things like your tri-sloshers, carbon rollers, T-Techs, to come and contest some of that long-range pressure that you might receive from your Hydra Splatlings, Ballpoint Splatlings, and Charger Spickle.
That is true, which I'm curious to see what we're going to see for the team comps today. You got at least 50 seconds until we'll be getting into the match. We'll be seeing these team comps shortly. Especially with this being a new stage, there's a chance that people might be trying some strategies that we haven't seen. Not too sure. What are you looking forward to most with this match?
At this point, I'm looking forward to just seeing kind of how these two teams compare in terms of their strategies. We have Tempura Tantrum having done a number of matches leading up into this, showing that they do have some nice, powerful aggression that they can bring to the table. Sweet Release of Depth being kind of the one of the newest teams of sorts, at least in this particular iteration. Want to see how they've grown since the last match that they had here on Stream, Pickle.
And we are off. The map is loading up. People are loading in. Let's get ready.
All right. From Tempura Tantrum, we see a Splattershot Pro Forge. We see both Splattershots, T-Tech and Vanilla, and a Vanilla Slosher. On Sweet Release of Depth, we have a Clash Blaster, Vanilla Junior, Tri-Slosher Nouveau, and a Custom Jet Squelcher. Back and forth in mid. No one taking a clear advantage yet.
Creamy's currently holding things from up top. Really kind of pestering them, although they've got this rain out. That's going to give them a little bit of an edge, trying to flush out Tempura here.
We do see the Inkzuka going down in the rain. Now a slight numbers advantage for Sweet Release of Depth.
Hammy pressuring Liss into a corner, taking Liss down.
Ooh, and we see two more going down from Tempura Tantrum as we're pushing into the first checkpoint.
Another person from Tempura Tantrum gets backed into the corner. BT unfortunately goes down. That's taking out their Splattershot for just a moment here. Liz trying to hold things off, trying to get some of that paint back.
Now Yeah, this is where we see that difficulty here now after that first check, having that tower back up, needing to use that booyah to finally get that stop, but not before getting all the way to that second checkpoint, Pickle.
And that's a very good comeback from Tempura on this. They're going to need to take that tower, ride it back in as far as they can. Taking hand me down as that Trizuka comes out. BT is saying, nuh-uh, we'll be having none of that meta here tonight.
Absolutely. Still looking pretty even here. We're starting to see the push from Tempura. Tantrum now sliding into that first checkpoint, taking down the, 2 in the process. Now we're down 2v2. Oh, and 3 down.
Aether coming back on the tower, pushing it back.
Yeah, Aether showing he can be quite aggressive with his Splatter Shot Jr. Just holding it down on the tower, putting that bomb pressure out, unfortunately going down to a suction bomb in the process from Creamies. Coming out trying to...
Still had that Booyah Bomb coming out. Creamies right now taking back territory, trying to push back Sweet Release of Depth. Trizuka comes out, unfortunately doesn't get any sort of picks off of that, I don't believe, but maybe put enough pressure on them to help one of their teammates out.
Hammy coming in, getting 2 picks on the tower, and the wipeout as everyone collapses on top. We've got everyone from Sweet Release of Depth up on top right now, and everyone from Tempura Tantrum leaning in here.
Here goes Laura and I being aggressive with the Tri-Slosher Nuvo. Unfortunately, the tactical placement isn't really going to help out the team too much. No one else was really pushing for that, but that might have been just enough distraction for Honey to get this tower to the next checkpoint. They've got 4 more ticks. 3, 2, 1. They are past checkpoint 2.
Absolutely. I do think it could have been a little bit of a distraction technique here, and we see a bubble popping out on the tower. Aether doing a little bit of pole dancing here, as they call it in the business. Usually got to pay extra for that type of action, Pickle.
And here's that... See, this is why I miss commentating. We got to get on this stuff more often.
Did I break your concentration?
a little bit. Tempura Tantrum, though, while all this is going on, has Sweet Release of Depth all up on this cliff, and they're taking them out. This Inkjet is putting massive pressure. Laura and I somehow surviving through all of that, as Nezu is back on the ground now with the tower coming up.
A very scary Inkjet from Evolve indeed, as we see them sliding through that checkpoint. A Booyah going to come, and Liz going to glide on through.
Laura and I coming in with the bucket, getting the pick.
2v2.
That's 2 down on the other team. That's going to do some work for Sweet Release of Depth. Hopefully they can capitalize on this, start pushing it back.
I like this bubble placement here, just giving just enough shield just to keep that 2v1 going. 35 seconds left. Don't need to push too much. Oh, but one more going down on the tower.
Oh, and it is getting close. If Tempura Tantrum can clutch this out, get rid of that Clash Blaster that Hammy's running. Apparently can't do it, though. You know, everyone dunks in the Clash Blaster, even myself sometimes, but sometimes it's just the right tool for the job.
Hammy taking 2 out in the process, giving just enough time for a team to regroup. We've got 2v2 on the tower. Still jumps coming in. A Booyah going to push them just past that checkpoint.
Tempura Tantrum still has a chance. They're in overtime. They're pushing.
Oh, no! The wipeout!
And the first game goes to Sweet Release of Depth.
An excellent attempt at the comeback from Tempura Tantrum. Unfortunately, just not quite enough time. They were able to get it past that second checkpoint, past that quite tricky spot, but there was just a little bit too much AoE on that tower, Pickle, and that turned the tide in Sweet Release of Depth's favor.
Man, what an exciting match.
Yeah, that was just game 1, Pickle.
Now, we've got a couple good ones, and if it's going to be as close as this match was, we might be seeing a Game 7. Who knows? We'll have to see. That was really close.
If week 2 is this impressive, I can't wait to see weeks 3 and 4, Pickle.
That is true. Those weeks will be hot coming up. Actually, we do have plenty of week 4 matches coming up. This is a very hot weekend. We have our 5 regularly scheduled matches. We have our 2 makeups rematches scheduled. One happening earlier tonight, one happening right now. 7 games in 1 week. That's going to put some stress on these teams, especially these rematch teams. So I'm kind of curious to see how their matches are going to go a little bit later on in the week. But right now, we are currently at least 85 seconds away from the next match. We're going to be looking at Rainmaker on Mako Mart.
Oh, I love this one, Pickle. This is a dynamic map, lots of cover to sneak through, but also good vantage points for your backliners, a little bit of something for everyone. We've got risky, fast route pushing to the right towards the enemy spawn, and then a safer, slow route with lots of geometry on the left side, Pickle.
And if there's anything to expect, at least from my own personal experience, lots of bombs, lots of flanking. Man, I tell you, I have some hard times on this map, especially when you're going up against good teams like these here. All it takes is a couple good plays to lock you out, and you might be done.
Just a reminder that this stream is brought to you by Crack On. Need some tower cheese? Got a power clam? Get your crack on. Well, Pickle, like they say, not all of them land, but let's go into game 2, Rainmaker on Mako Mart.
I was just giving the chat, a time to laugh.
Time to breathe, that's right.
They're laughing. They're all good. All right, Tempura Tantrum, we are seeing a very similar team comp to what we saw last time. A little bit of a change up, I believe, on the side of Sweet Release of Depth, though, with this Nautilus coming out.
Absolutely.
I believe also the Junior.
Yeah, I do see a switch to a Tri-Slosher Nouveau as well on the side of Tempura Tantrum. We see that Clash Blaster coming back in. Again, not something super common, but 3 going down from Sweet Release of Depth. 1 more hiding there. And looks like this is going to be a quick first checkpoint. Liz dunking it on the right side.
Wow, Tempura Tantrum has some massive energy that they're coming in right now. That was a very first quick checkpoint. Sweet Release of Depth probably has to be sweating at least a little bit at this point right now. But it looks like they're in a good position to be able to take control of it. Maybe we'll see them run it. I have a feeling this is going to be another close one, Pat. I'm excited.
We do see a nice little recovery here. A couple of specials coming out. A nicely placed bubble protecting from that ink strike there, or the Inkzuka. Let's see. But we do have 4 up on both sides. 1 going down from Tempura Tantrum. 2 going down, and the Rainmaker going with 3. And the wipeout yet again.
Wow, that Clash Blaster doing some work from Hammy. There's a lot of corners on this map. And when you think about it, these short corridors, all these corners, that is prime territory for a Clash to get in here and do some work.
That is the Inkzuka coming out here. Let's see if they can't get it past this first checkpoint. We see some very nice defenses coming out from Tempura Tantrum, but it looks like the pop is going to go in favor of Sweet Release of Depth, and they're going to push it up to 36, Pickle.
And that was a very quick down for the Rainmaker. However, that is probably exactly what they needed right now, just to get that little bit of an edge. That's going to put Tempura Tantrum on their feet.
Hammy is still there, being a menace with that Clash Blaster.
So you're trying to sneak away. We'll definitely see where this is going next. Throwing out a couple of bombs, trying to keep them at bay, trying to pester them a little bit, maybe get a pick. Rainmaker goes back to the center, and we see Hammy trying to do some turfing.
Absolutely. Not a ton of paint on Sweet Release of Depth's team, but we are seeing good map control, holding these positions very aggressively. They had them caught back in their street for quite a while there. And now we're seeing a bit more neutral play with 2 going down.
And it doesn't matter if the Trizuka misses. Hammy is going to town getting these splats.
Absolutely. We see more Aether picking up the Rainmaker again. Honey Lemon there just providing a little bit of crossfire with some rain coming out and the bombs, making things very difficult for Tempura Tantrum.
Turf consistently going back and forth. Trying to maintain coverage on this map with your in color, not exactly the easiest. There's a lot of different vantage points where all it takes is a splatter shot to hang out to just contest it and make sure that the Rainmaker can't proceed that easily. But we see Tacticooler comes out. Rainmaker's moving fast. Will we see the final checkpoint here? They're going to have to make a quick push.
Yeah, Tempura Tantrum coordinating their specials quite nicely. Hammy taking a couple out before kindly going into this Tri-Slosher.
Rainmaker goes back on the Sweet Release of Depth.
We're
Still seeing more of that Nezu. And the bucket was enough to take the Rainmaker down.
Nezu very nasty with that bucket. Once you get in his range, it's going to be very difficult to escape. The kill time is just so fast.
Oh, BT sneaking in with the splatter shot, getting that kill on the Nautilus when they weren't expecting it, right around the corner. Tri-Strike's coming out. Rainmaker going down. Looking like Sweet Release of Depth might have a little bit of an advantage for this next push coming up here. Looks like it's about to burst in purple unless Tempura Tantrum can do something about this.
A bit of a meat grinder here. We have less than a minute on the map. We need to see if Sweet Release of Death decides to push. It looks like the Tempura Tantrum's gonna pick up here, but going down in the process. But that's a wipeout.
Wow, Tempura Tantrum needs to take advantage of this right now. They need to get booking it. They do not have any time to waste if they want to be able to get these points before Sweet Release of Death comes up. They're trying. Fortunately, this goes down. We've got 25 seconds left in the match. This is a very close game. It could go either way still at this point.
We got some sharking going on to the right. A really precarious position. Aether going down to the Inkzuka. This could be the chance for Tempura Tantrum. We see Lorelei taking one out. Oh, and another going down. Bit of meat grinder, 2 seconds.
And that is game. Game number 2 goes to Sweet Release of Depth. We are now 0-2.
That was a precarious situation there, Pickle. Any one of those fights goes in the way of Tempura Tantrum. It could have meant those last few points to pull them in the lead. But Sweet Release of Depth just able to hold on to that lead long enough to take the win, Pickle.
Absolutely. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. With teams evenly matched, such as this, all it takes is just that one extra fight that you could have won to really turn things in your favor. Unfortunately, this did not go in the way of Tempura Tantrum, and Sweet Release gets this extra win. That's going to put Tempura back on their heels. They've got a little bit to come back from, but I still think that Game 7 potentially still out there.
We're seeing some good plays from Tempura Tantrum. We're seeing some good special coordination. We're seeing some powerful plays happening, just not quite able to seal the deal here. Just wait a moment here. It seems like we might be having a little technical difficulty, but Tempura Tantrum by no means is out of this game just yet.
Robbie in chat saying, the win, Pickle. Confirmed the prize is a pickle. Or even possibly the pickle. You know what? I'm just happy hearing my name. Thank you, Robbie.
Pickle, 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 pickle. This stream is brought to you by Pickles. Have yourself a pickled pickle. Pickles. And we see that we've got our teammates back in. Just needed to probably
so it looks like
resolve
we
a bit of a
disconnect.
connection issue. It looks like we are back into the lobby here. Just need to select teams, and we are back online with Clam Blitz on Brinewater Spring. So pickle. If you are Tempura Tantrum, Pickle, what is your move going into Game 3? We've had 2 close games, but not quite.
Question.
I'm gonna hit you with that question, Pickle. I'm gonna hit you with lots of questions.
I'm supposed to ask you that one and put you on your toes.
Then lay it on me. Put me on the spot, Pickle. Put me on my toes. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. Put me in the ring.
You know what? What I would do if I was Tempura Tantrum right now is I would just put everybody on Orange Zap. I mean, there, I said it. Orange Zap, best weapon. Don't at me.
The Orange Zap going to do a very nice job of both seeking with the Auto Bomb, colloquially known as the Chicken, and providing a little bit more of that chip damage and paint with the Super Chomp. Want to fake out with the Super Jump? Try Super Chumps, the sponsor of today's stream.
But you know what? That is something that I do think is a little bit underrated. Super Chumps. Haven't seen it yet tonight. And I'm going to call you out right now, Paladerp. Super Chumps, way better than you think they are. Give them another shot. Try them a different way. I'm just saying. You will see the way of the Super Chump, and you will realize that, yes, Pickle was indeed right. But getting back to the match, we are looking next at Clam Blitz on Brinewater Springs. I'm actually really happy that this is one of the week 2 maps, because this is, in particular, my favorite map mode combination to play in the entire game.
Wow. Some very strong words here, and we're going to go ahead. I see why there was a change. It looks like we needed to coordinate our banners. A noble cause if there ever was one.
I mean, I do appreciate the coordination effort. It's just
All
that
right.
extra little bit.
We see another change from Tempura Tantrum. BT pulling out the Blobber Deco with the Kraken. A popular pick for Clam Blitz. It looks like we are seeing
I
a
believe
bit
we
of
also
changes.
have Nezu on Tri-Slosh as well for finishing off Tempura Tantrum's changes. Sweet Release of Death, we're now seeing a Custom Junior along with Splattershot Pro. Really curious to see how these pros are going to face off against each other, along with the splatter shots. Having the same range, if you're facing off against them, really it can just come down to your tactics and trying to get the better of the other person.
Looks like we're also seeing a T-Tech come out from Hammy here, going to provide a little bit of extra paint with those ink strikes. We're still in a bit of neutral here, but 2 going down from Sweet Release of Death, and a Booyah coming out, taking out a 3rd in the process, Pickle.
Not to mention that Kraken, Tempura Tantrum throwing all their specials all at once, and they get the first Power Clam in the basket. That's going to give them the lead immediately right here. Unfortunately, it looks like they're not going to get much more. Sweet Release of Depth coming back up and taking their home base back. They said, nuh-uh. Sorry, Tempura, you are leaving today.
Yeah, tough position to be in because they have now a guaranteed Power Clam. That's going to limit the amount of clams that spawn onto the map, Pickle.
That is true, and that is a very strong strategy to have. Being able to deny the enemy team clams prevents them from being able to push as much, and when they do push, obviously they don't get as many points as they possibly could have. Inkjet going up, going down right away with Hammy Splatter Shot. Looks like Sweet Release of Death is starting to take this map back and get a little bit of vengeance. Kraken coming out, though, on Tempura Tantrum. That's going to displace them a little bit here.
All right, and as we switch to the full screen view here, we see a trade going on. Oh, and 2 more going down. We see a Power Clam made. Let's see if Tempura Tantrum is going to slide in here, and they do get their 2nd Power Clam in, and a couple more to follow up, Pickle.
And that's exactly what you need, especially early in the game. If you can get that early lead and just hold them off, I've seen a lot of games be won simply by defense after that first push.
We got some clam juggling in mid here. We've got now 3 clams, including our newest pity clam on the side of Sweet Release of Death. We have some tri-strikes coming out. Still no picks just yet. A Booyah to follow it up.
From Honey.
2 down.
If they can get these power clams in,
that
that is going to be huge from them.
Aether and Honey still keeping up the pressure, trying to find that opening. 2 down.
Liz doing a good job holding them back. The Booyah coming out. Broke the barrier, but maybe that'll be enough to push him back. But Hammy comes in, steals the Power Clam, dunks it again. That gives them the lead
as well.
Point.
Wow. Looks like that push is going to stop right there. We're in a 2v3 situation with respawns coming out on both sides. Now with a pity clam on both sides, and just under 2 minutes left, Pickle.
That is true. We've got a few penalty points to get through on each side, so it is going to take, at least for Sweet Release of Depth, to further secure their lead more than just a single Power Clam. However, they got to watch out for Tempura Tantrum because a single Power Clam will turn the tides in their favor in this instance.
We do see a very long plank coming out from, I believe it was Lauren. I will have to check the replay on that one, causing enough of a distraction. There's still a lot of purple ink on the map.
That is true. Seems like they're currently fighting for mid. Kind of going back and forth. You're starting to see specials come out. I think people are starting to get a little bit antsy. They want to get that push down. That 3 down on Sweet Release of Depth, that is good news for Tempura Tantrum.
And going in deep.
We'll see if they
taking
capitalize
2 in the
this
process. And hitting the power
man.
in the process. And was just like, I'll just hang out here by myself.
And
Just kill
sneaking
everyone and
around.
get all the clams in. Oh,
And that is enough to
stop.
just secure them a little bit more of the lead.
Yeah.
I think even if Temper Tantrum comes in with a single power clam, they're going to need just a little bit more to push them over the edge. So they're going to need more than one person trying to get to the basket this time.
And he's bought enough time for her team to regroup, get a little bit more of the map in their color, build a little bit more special. We see a wave breaker coming out from Aether. 2 down,
He's
but that
getting a little close up. Ends up
that-
getting flanked by Sweet Release of Depth.
yeah, the wave breaker getting that little extra bit of chip and that location,
We got 3
and
seconds
just getting
left in the
pinched in the
match.
process.
And
we've
that
got
is
the
game.
GG.
Man, these are some really close games. However, Sweet Release of Death just keeps taking them home today. And it looks like I forgot to change the overlay to the match one. Sorry about that, y'all.
Well, I tried to be subtle, but perhaps I was too subtle.
If there's anything I know about myself, I don't take hints. All right, Fat. Now let me hit you with this question. You're in the position of Temper Tantrum right now. You've got 3 games against you. This next one is critical. We're looking at splat zones on Humpback Pump Track. Looking at what they were running last time, what changes do you think you would make? What changes do you think we're going to see? What strategy would you try?
If I'm Tempura Tantrum right now, I am first wanting to remind myself that this team is not unbeatable. We've had some very, very close games here today, and the set very well may be closer than we think it is. We want to make sure that we are seeing enough pain on the ground. I'm going to be expecting a lot of sharking from Hammy. We're going to be expecting a lot of aggression from Lorelei, and even from Aether as well. A lot of strong pushes going to try to overwhelm and take over. But by denying that paint and denying that space, particularly on a mode like Splat Zones, it's going to make it a lot more difficult, thereby giving more room to players like Nezu to do his thing, shark and kill with Tri-Slosher, Carbon, or whatever. So having the other 3 BT Creamies and Lists taking their time to paint for their special, continuing to coordinate their specials well to get those retakes, I think they still might have a shot at extending this to maybe even a Game 7. We'll have to see, Pickle.
I do think that is very much still possible, and especially since we've been seeing a few more of the buckets on the side of Temper Tantrum. If there's anything that I've been hearing from people in the community is that things like buckets, things like rollers, that is what you need on Humpback Pump Track in order to succeed. So I'm looking forward to see that. We might see Blah Blah Deco. We might see some more Tri-Slosh, but here we go.
All right. And here we see that Carbon Roller Deco going back to the double Splatter Shot with 1 T-Tech and the Splatter Shot Pro. And then over on Sweet Release of Death, we are seeing, it looks like the same comp that we just had last time with T-Tech, Custom Junior, the Tri-Slosher Nouveau, and the Custom Jet Squelcher.
That does seem to be the case. Now, as a fan of Jet Squelcher myself here, watching Honey, this is going to be a very good spot for Honey to hang out. It's very safe. It's going to allow for a lot of jumps, and they can reach almost the entire zone fairly safely. Honey backlining here is going to be very much key to the success of Sweet Release of Death.
Absolutely. This nice positioning, plus an early pick from Lorelei and a very nice pick from Honey Lemon here, going to help them get the early lead on this zone. We're ticking down just past 60 points here. This is the point where the water is going to start to drop away, and the rest of the stage is going to up. That's a different stage, Pickle. I apologize.
I do see Nezu off to the side getting a pick with that Carbon Roller. However, it doesn't look like there's that much ink. And if there's anything that I've learned about Carbon Roller Deco, you need to have your team supporting you with that ink to be able to get in, get those picks, and be able to shark in those key areas to be able to take the enemy team by surprise. Right now, the map is in favor of Sweet Release of Depth, counting down to 31, but Temper Tantrum gets the stop. 53 penalty points applied, and it is now ticking down for yellow.
Still anyone's game here. Those points are going away fast here. We're seeing Laura and I coming out with the tactic cooler, seeing if we can't get some action out of this flank here. Oh, but we have Nezu coming with the carbon roller, putting a stop to that.
Definitely
a lot of
doing
orange
a bit
ink
of work
coming
this
out.
match, for sure.
Oh, and the
Temper
cap,
Tantrum
now the
holding it
penalty.
on. They've got a few penalty points to get through, but there's still very much a chance that they can hold on to this here. Rain coming out on the side of Sweet Release of Depth, that's going to give them a little bit of an advantage here. And it looks like they are pushing in a little bit with that pass.
Still haven't quite flipped to blue here. Oh, and dying on the zone is going to flip it over. We're going to have to jump out
game.
there.
They've got a lot of penalty points to go through on Sweet Release.
Yeah, and a lot of time as well, Pickle. We see those ink strikes coming out and a pick on Honey Lemon. Oh, but then the counter pick from Laura and I. We'll take that trade if we can get our wave breaker down and still have Hammy in the middle. Just painting up and List going down. That's going to give the cap back to Sweet Release of Depth. There it is.
One thing I'm noticing with this match is that we're not seeing quite as much special coordination. It seems like people are getting a little bit antsy and just trying to get those specials in there before they die and lose their special charge.
Seeing a little bit of death on zone as well.
We do see some coordination here. This is going to turn out in favor of Temper Tantrum. They have taken the zone, continuing to put out specials. However, they're going to have to recharge these specials pretty quick if they want to mount a good defense against S-Rod coming back.
Yeah, back-to-back Inkzukas from Nezu and Creamies is going to be a really... I'm sorry, for Creamies is going to be a nasty combination here. We see the Rain Cloud and the Ink Strike.
Oh, and that is enough to flip the zone. That's going to apply the penalty points to Temper Tantrum. That's going to keep S-Rod just a little bit safer in this game here. Temper Tantrum got a bit of work to do. 3 players spawning in and a very purple-looking field at this moment.
Needs some paint on the ground, building a bit of special here. Almost out of penalty points for Sweet Release of Depth, and a Wave Breaker going to make things a little difficult, but Response with some specials of their own. And there's the flip to blue, Pickle.
I was going to say, unless you're colorblind, that might be yellow.
There's the flip to the color of Tempura, Pickle.
All right. This zone is very close to flipping right now. S-Rod just holding on. They are not letting this go. They are playing very well here. So is Temper Tantrum, but Sweet Release of Depth just keeping that little bit of an edge. Got
another wave breaker. Oh, and the wipe out. 25 seconds. Nearly every member of Sweet Release of Depth up right here.
Temper Tantrum's got a lot of work. They got to come back. They got to take this zone within 15 seconds if they want to keep this going. And we see it. They are in control. If they can hold on to this, that Booyah Bomb might be critical. Come on, y'all.
2 down.
Oh, and it just flips
and the
back.
flip at the last second.
That's game 4 of 7 going to Sweet Release of Depth, and they have taken this match.
Again, some very wonderful play from Tempura Tantrum. A lot of back and forth of these matches. Some very close contenders, but in the end, Sweet Release of Depth able to hold on and seal a 4-0 victory.
Man, these are some good matches. You know what? This is what I like doing this for. We come in, we see some good matches, we see some good sportsmanship. DOS tourneys, you know, this is just, I wouldn't do anything other than TO and commentate for them. This is the stuff right here.
Absolutely.
Very good game to all of the tourney participants tonight.
Definitely. And this now will wrap up our 3rd game of the evening. We've got a couple more happening this weekend. And as Pickle alluded to earlier, we have plenty more games going into the factual week 5 of the tournament. This will be our last week of the tournament before bracket, and this plus any of the remaining matches from week 4 plus any of the makeup matches from weeks 1 through 3 are going to determine the top 4 teams, which will make their way into the final weeks of bracket, Pickle.
That is correct. We'll be moving on to a double elimination format at that point. And within 3 weeks from then, 4 weeks, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 weeks, we will see who the champion is. But until next time, stay tuned, folks, and keep having fun. I've been Pickle.
I've been Fat.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Take care. Have a good night.
Peace.